Guys, have you ever made a simple mistake and immediately let that cruel voice in your head completely tear you apart? You probably think you have to beat yourself up to learn a lesson. We falsely believe that if we don't punish ourselves with guilt and shame, we'll never change or reach our idealized selves. But taking a whip to yourself just ruins your peace, keeps you stuck, and honestly, it doesn't even work. Today, we're going to look at a massive mindset shift from A Course in Miracles. We're going to stop treating our mistakes as unredeemable sins that require punishment and start treating them as simple errors that just need a quick correction. It's time to drop the whip. And hi, if you're new here, I'm Cahir. I'm here to take you one step closer to self love. Now, today we are experimenting another format with me playing. This time, we're going to play and record at the same time. We have notes down here. So yes, I'm gonna occasionally, from time to time, check what I have my outline. Okay, and let's start. So first, it's the trap of sin and punishment. This is from my live stream I did on Wednesday about chapter 19 of Course in Miracles talks about sin versus punishment. Society, I'll read. Society, nature, and our upbringing have programmed us to believe that making a mistake is a sin that demands harsh punishment. Okay. So if you guys were raised in an environment like me, so I'm first generation, I'm Polish, so Polish American, but my parents raised me very Polish, I think. um, like I've talked about, like when I think at least about a stereotypical American family, is like, you can do it, Jimmy. I believe in you. I didn't get that. It was really a lot of like harsh punishment for like very simple mistakes. I'm not trying to. Whenever I talk about my parents, it's not about I'll have to keep reiterating for myself. It's not about blaming anybody. It's just about recognizing like this map I was given as a kid. It's over, um, but I'm aware of it, right? And maybe like some of us aren't aware of how important our childhood was. It's not about being a victim. It's actually the opposite because awareness precedes change. That's what we learn in Healthy Gamer, and I was just not unaware of that. And for me, my upbringing was like it was small mistakes were met with often a lot of vitriol. I remember I had we had and I was about like 10 years old, and we have these dish racks. Um, we had like old rags used to clean the kitchen, and we also had nice dish rags. But one time, the nice dish rag was in the used one, so I thought, oh, um, maybe maybe it's like I don't know. Well, I can use it to clean the kitchen. I used it to clean the kitchen, and my mom like took it and put it in my face like we eat off it. How can we eat off this? All the chemicals. Like holy moly! And that's just like one small example. So I got like very afraid of making mistakes. Um, and of course, what that was like making me feel guilty, right? And then uh, I internalized that voice, and I turn out to be my own like awful inner critic, um, guilt bringer onto myself. We also see this in nature. Um, this is also based on the circle of atonement that they talked about how guilt is just entrenched in our world. Even like monkeys, there was like this study done where there's two groups of monkeys, and they were doing the exact same activity. They had to like pull a lever or something, and when they one monkey got like a nice juicy grape, and the other monkey got cucumbers. So the ones looking at even that monkey that got cucumbers like what I'm getting I'm getting just a cucumber for he's getting a grape, and he would like steal the grape or like hit the other monkey. So it's you can see that it's like ingrained in us. And we're taught to look at like um, sin, like when we mess up, it needs to be punished. We falsely believe that we need a cruel inner whip to force ourselves back on track, um, but beating yourself up only floods your body with cortisol and solidifies the mistake. So, you guys grew up with CPTSD like I did, or have this harsh inner critic. This was the mentality. I've made a few videos about this, but I think it's so pervasive, and we talk about something like this in every healthy gamer session, pretty much. That it was actually last session we had one of our new members talk about. They had this like idealized version of themselves, right? That they would have tons of friends, they have like this great body, but since they don't have it now, they're gonna whip themselves, like, oh bitch, get in shape, like, oh, why aren't you talking to anybody, or you're gonna be lonely forever. And if you think about it, what is that doing? What is that doing to your body? Right? It's filling you up with cortisol, all these negative chemicals. I'm not as expert in, but I'm reading Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit About Being Yourself, and he talks about when we have fantasies, right? You know what I mean? Uh, how that changes the body, and it's just your imagination, right? And the same thing is with this, that when we berate ourselves, we're still we're affecting our state, right? And I did this because I believed if I didn't punish myself, I'm going to continue the negative behavior. I'm going to continue being a loser, right? And it's only by berating myself I'll have some reprieve. but um, but doing that only keeps me stuck, right? Like, so then I don't do the actions I need to take. Then I whip myself because I don't take those actions, and it's like this endless cycle. And the only way to get out of it is unconditional positive regard. And when I say unconditional, I mean unconditional. And I know it could be foreign to a lot of us. It might seem weird because it's unfamiliar, but that doesn't mean that we don't do it. By tolerating this internal abuse, we actually attract external abuse, drawing in toxic people. Like, oh, I wrote down the awful business coach. Okay, yeah. We also talked about this in Healthy Gamer, and it makes sense, right? We attract the love that we feel that we deserve, right? And or we attract the people we feel we tolerate. Right? Tony Robbins talks about you get what you tolerate in life, and it was kind of crazy. So I've told this story, but it just is so bizarre and wacko. How Okay, so my brother and I were both English teachers, and we were we were having some conflict on because we wanted to run our business together, and we had some conflict on how to do that. And he was seeing like this coach, kind of therapist. It was bizarre. I don't know what to say, but um, and you think she might be a positive person, right? And so, oh, okay, yeah, she was like a mentor, right? But she also did business coaching, and we go to her. And I was saying like I want to build my business with my brother. That is a person I trust. We have similar belief systems, and I feel that we can work together. We can achieve great things. And you know what she said? I don't know if I could say this on YouTube, but she said, "Oh, it sounds like you guys have an incestuous relationship." Like, bro, person should be fired. Lord have well, and she ran her own business, but I don't know. I'm glad I get what I said to my brother that I'll do it. I would only pay for it because I was iffy with it to the beginning. I said I'll only pay half if it was good. So luckily I didn't pay it, but but my brother still did. Um, and the thing is, I saw my freeze response in that moment, like my trauma response. I froze. I felt the same wave of emotion like when my mom would give me odpierdo. Odpierdo in English is like a talking down to, but just you can that's like a really aggressive talking down to. I froze, and um, I would say if I had like a healthy defense mechanism, I rightly get angry and be like, "You don't get to talk to me like that. You don't get to talk to me like that. That's disgusting. You can forget about us paying you, right?" And I berated myself. I was like, how could you let someone talk to you like that? But that's the thing. But there was an answer there. How could like how could I let someone like that talk to me? Right? It was because I didn't have enough self love at the time. Like no, right? Because I tolerated because this abuse was familiar for me, right? The sin, the guilt, they're basically trying to make me feel guilty, right? Oh, like ew, you're trying to have a business with your brother, ew, like that's just disgusting. um, and we get and don't even get me started on like with romantic interests. I attracted people like that too. This willing like say nasty and cruel things, and I wouldn't have the I don't want to say backbone because that's I wouldn't have the strength. Let's say that I would have the strength to stand up for myself. And this is the whole thing with nice guys, which I prefer to say disempowered men because um, we. I remember having this problem. Like I did identify as like a nice guy, and I was like, I don't want to be a nice guy. Well, I want to be a person of kindness, but I don't want to be walked over, right? And to heal that is through having enough self love to not tolerate bullshit like that. And that means I'm not going to make myself feel sinful and guilty all the time. If I make a mistake, it's an error to be corrected. What the course teaches us, it's a perception to be corrected, right? Because when we make ourselves feel guilty in this way, like, oh, I'm such a bitch, I should have stood up for myself. You're making it real. You're making it real in your body. And that's why I implore you guys to just look at it as an error to be corrected. Right now, I see like, oh, I had self-love deficiency. In that moment, I had my freeze response. I understand it now. Before, I didn't have the words, right? The language to say, I didn't call it what it was. Because from the outside, it's like, oh, you're just being a little bitch. Obviously, that's not helpful language, right? All right, very cool. Um, what did I write here? The idolized self and healing fantasies. Okay, this is kind of touched upon it already, but this is like healing fantasy is connected with CPTSD. That we feel like, oh, well, once I get this thing, once I get the job, or once I get the body, or relationship, whatever it be, I'm gonna be healed. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna read what I got here. We create an idolized self in our minds and brutalize our current selves for not being there yet. Exactly like the healthy gamer member who attacked themselves for seeing other people friends, like I mentioned. Um, and this is a dynamic I had in my like pretty much all of my 20s, guys, before healthy gaming. Is I believed holding on to this guilt and shame, this sin in the Course in Miracles sense, right? Right? That if I don't berate myself, I'll never be this idolized Cahir. I'll never get the money. I'll never get the girl. I'll never get the body. And if I don't have those things, I'm a bitch. Does that sound like unconditional positive regard, or does it sound like very conditional love that can be taken away? Like, I think about it, guys. Even if you have those things, which good for you, like you never know what tomorrow will bring, right? Everything here is temporary, and not. I don't want to sound that to like disempower, but this is a fleeting existence. Not knocking on those things, of course. Like I think everything can be used in a healthy way, but I feel we use these as idols. The course says that I'm going to put these things on a pedestal beyond my state of being, beyond even loving myself. And this is what the new member in our group was doing, that they saw this idolized version of themselves, of a community with being in shape, and it's there, but they're down here. It's like, how can I love myself when I'm down here? How can I? I need to be here. But the goalpost will always move, always. Like, this is the ego's trick, is to seek and never find. But the Holy Spirit, what the Course is teaching us, is peace is here right now. Right now. There's all the time. There's only now, the holy instant. And that means to accept yourself right now, this very second. Waiting to achieve that perfect version of yourself before you grant yourself peace is a trauma-based healing fantasy that completely argues against reality. There you go. Yes. So basically, like, the biggest obstacle of self-love is arguing against reality. And I think a lot of people take this, or at least I took it before, that, oh, if I accept my reality, I won't change it. Right? And I can't accept reality because it won't change. And that's the paradox, that you can't change anything that you don't accept, that you don't embrace. I saw this great Instagram reel. It's like, what I resist persists, what I embrace dissolves. Nice wisdom. I had something like that when, so I've mentioned, I did gain weight. I used to be 76, now I'm back to 82. Oh no, but that's why I'm on the treadmill right now. But luckily I was working out the whole time, so I would say my figure is relatively the same. That's beside the point. But I was avoiding checking the scale. I was just avoiding it, and that's when it became like a bigger problem. But I see now that if I didn't resist it and I just faced it, and eventually I did, right? And I saw what was on the scale, and then I was like, okay, well, now it's time to change. What can we do? Reduce our calories a little bit, increase our movement, like right now, and that's it. Right? It's simple, but do we do it? And we can have many reasons why we don't face what we need to face. I would encourage you, just take 5 minutes, whatever it is, to face what you're not looking, and accept it. Like, accepting where you are is the first step. Accepting yourself, loving yourself where you are, no matter what, because you're matching what the Creator has, what the Creator is thinking about you. He loves you unconditionally, and you can't have unconditional love with the judgment. If you're judging, like, oh, things should be differently, then you're not loving it. You're not accepting it. And I know it seems like a paradox, but every time I've embraced where I am and stopped judging myself where I should be in life, and just like, okay, this is where I am. I have some next action steps that will get me to where I want to be. Let's keep going. It makes it a lot easier, instead of being like, oh, why aren't I there yet? I'm saying that more to make fun of myself a little bit, but um, like, loving. At first, I think it's okay to be even like, I am where I am, and it's okay. Neutrality, it's okay. And then when we can say it's okay, then we can say, all right, and it's good. It's good. And maybe it's perfect. But you gotta, meet you where you are. Okay, very cool. What do I have here? Oh, I chickened out asking a girl for coffee in university. My internal voice viciously attacked me because I falsely believed that unpreferred outcome proved I would be lonely forever. So what I do, guys, is, like, I make a draft, I make a voice note, and I transcribe it, and I make an outline from it using AI. Hope you guys don't hate me for that, but this is still my unique thoughts, just written down. So I wanted to share this story because I could show you the exact opposite of how it is when we're not loving ourselves, and we're making this journey of life 10 times harder. And that was one of the moments where uh, I was like early 20s, university, and there's this girl I wanted to just, I found her attractive. We talked a little bit. I wanted to ask her out for coffee. And I see that she's talking with her friends, and I said, like, okay, you're like, just do it. Man up. Be a man. This next video coming up. Be a man. Like how that's dangerous. But and I remember she was like with her friends, and I didn't want to be, or I couldn't have like the strength to like be like a giga chad right in front of her friends and be like, hey, do you want to get a coffee sometime, or when are you free to get a coffee? um I remember the mental anguish, just the beratement I had. I was just calling myself names like, "Oh, you fucking pussy! How could you let that happen? You're gonna be lonely forever. You can't even fucking ask a girl for coffee." I'm like, bro, what does that give you, bro? Right? And I could see it was the belief in sin. Right? In that moment, I had sinned against myself. Right? I sinned against this idolized version of myself. Therefore, I needed to punish myself to absolve myself. And you can see how insane that is. Because that's not like motivating to get better at those social skills or talking to women. It's quite opposite. It makes me want to isolate and like, oh, this is super painful. And think about who was making it painful? Me, because I consciously or unconsciously thought it was a good idea to berate myself. Obviously, I wouldn't consciously choose it, but now I have wisdom. We don't do that. Like I've mentioned, now if I want to ask a girl out, I reward the effort. I buy myself a 20s worth of Steam card, like $5. Yeah, it's a win-win. Very cool. Next paradigm shift: sin versus error. Course in Miracles offers a radical shift. Instead of viewing your actions as unredeemable sins, recognize them simply as neutral errors to be corrected. Yes. Okay, so because if I looked at that moment as just an error, like, which means an error of perception, like, hey, here, you're looking at yourself through the wrong lens. You're looking at yourself as some loser that can't talk to girls, looking at yourself as a failure, and and that's one point of view. But there are infinite points of view because we have this amazing imagination at our disposal, but we can use it for good or for evil. And obviously, I was using that for deep evil for myself unconsciously. And it begs the question, why? Because at some level, I believed it was good for me. I believed it was good to berate myself so I could be a man, so I could, I could be that Chad that I always wanted to be. And instead, now I look at it as, okay, let's just change our perception. And so we also talk about in the Healthy Gamer to neutralize the belief. What is the neutral thing that happened? I didn't ask that girl out. Okay, that's the fact. When I made a previous video about glishta, the expectations, right? If I had the expectation I need to be this brave Giga Chad that's gonna ask her out for coffee, like that's the thing. I gave up. But what if I was like, okay, maybe I'll do something else, or maybe okay, there's always I could try next time. Let's see if there's a better moment, or I'm gonna give myself a Steam card this time. But since I just went to sin, I completely blocked out that possibility. Okay, what do I have here? Bashar teaches us that all situations are inherently neutral. Just like in improv comedy, there are no actual mistakes, only discoveries that we assign meaning to. Yes. Okay. Because the biggest pain I suffered was, my expectation that I was going to, ask that girl out, and the extreme negative definitions I assigned to it, and I just imagine, um, like when we're learning something new, we're always going to be, make mistakes. Imagine we went up to a baby's learning to walk, and it falls over, and you're like, "Oh, you dumb, stupid baby! Why didn't you learn how to walk in your first time?" But of course, there's expectations, right? Oh, you're 20, you're 20 something. You should know how to talk to girls already. You should. Well, what if you don't? Arguing against reality. Um, True forgiveness means realizing the past is completely over and can touch you not. Right? This is straight up from the course. Allowing you to turn past mistakes into wisdom rather than using them as endless ammunition for character assassination. There you go. There you go. And I think that's a lot of my suffering was. I would use my past mistakes as evidence. Oh, this is why Cahir is a fucking bitch. He can't talk to girls. Whatever he tried, or he got rejected 110 times. Which no, I didn't get rejected 100 times, but still, or whatever rejections I had in the past. I made a whole video about my my escapades in early, like, high school, how that affected me. Um, but when the course means the past is over, it can touch you not. It means it. Right? Who's bringing up the past? Because if you're remembering the past, you're creating the hormones or whatever, the chemicals in your brain right now, right? And you can focus on something else instead of using this past to be like, oh, see, I know you're a bitch because of this, and that. But the course is saying all we have is now. Who are you right now? This very second. Also goes with Bashar. We're a new person every second. Dr. K talked about this too, but just like our cells and all this little complicated stuff. But, but which one is more empowering, right? Oh, I am defined forever by my past mistakes, or can I glean over my past and learn something from it so I have wisdom? I have wisdom now how I'm going to treat myself. Right, the 20 is what the Steam card. It worked. It worked a few times. I'll tell you. You need like the extra push to do it. But that was wisdom. It was like, okay, being really mean and nasty to myself is not in alignment to my goals. Right, it's not going to bring me closer. Right, what is being nice? Gamification, tangible rewards. Right, applying the shift in real time. Okay. Yes, I have another story how I changed from sin to arrow. Right? During my 4-year improv anniversary show, my automatic mind tried to torture me over the tech errors and awkward goodbye. I chose to lean into the error and extract the lesson instead. Oh, there you go. Okay, because this is very recent. Um, so as you guys probably know, I'm co-founder of Warsaw, Poland's only one of the, or at least in Warsaw, I think one of the only English improv groups in Warsaw. We're called Mixed Nuts, and we celebrated our 4-year anniversary. The recording of this video last Friday. And to put in perspective, guys, 4 years in improv, that's like 20. A lot of groups, they last maybe 1 year or two, or very, very, very rare. Right? Like English speaking in Warsaw, don't get me started. um, and just I got these new mics to record for a show, and actually I forgot to turn them on, and even when they were on, the quality is not what I wanted, and that was affecting my vibe. Also, I didn't feel like I was in a grounded state. I was distracting myself that day. I didn't feel like myself. And at the end of the show, I said goodbye. I was saying goodbye after I hung hung on the audience, and I was going to go home. I said goodbye to everyone, but my co-host's sister was the photographer, and she was talking to somebody, and I was like, oh, they're talking. I didn't want to interrupt them. I'm going to say goodbye. And my automatic mind started attacking me like, oh, you're so socially anxious. How could you forgot you didn't like she's gonna see that that you don't like her or something, and that you hate her. And really, like, and I talked about it during Healthy Gaming, which, by the way, guys, I have a link in the description for Healthy Gamer Counseling. I recommend it. I've been doing it for over a year. I'm not affiliated with them yet. I'd like to. It's a great way to heal, because you're working with other people. I think that's what grew the best for me, that you saw that other people are dealing with similar issues as you are. And getting hit myself. But when I did talk about it, and one of the members, he's like, oh yeah, he's like sarcastic. He's like, oh yeah, I bet she totally hates you for that. I'm like, man, but like in that moment, the chemicals were active, the thoughts were active. It did take me some time. Like I said, I'm making these videos not from a place of perfection, but from a place like I'm way better than I was like 5 years ago. Right? I'm talking to the person I was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I learned, and when I use that. Let's see, I used that opportunity when I felt I was feeling down on myself to open the course book, and it was chapter 19 where I talked about sin versus error. And I saw what I was doing to myself again. I was using this as a sin. Oh, I made a mistake. I didn't say goodbye. I wasn't the leader I thought I should be at the moment. Oh, character assassination, character assassination. Instead of, that's an interesting point of view. Let's look at it for a different angle. I had new technology. Like, of course, like, mistakes happen. It's okay. We had a backup camera. It's good. And that's why also we have co-hosts. So the burden of hosting is not just on one person. My co-host did a great job. And I think I did actually a decent job. We're going to watch the show again. So, but I remember feeling like it was okay. And I'm probably being too hard on myself. And isn't that much more productive than to be like, oh, bro, you're not a leader. Oh, you're so fucking socially anxious. Fuck you. But it's about like catching yourself and reminding yourself, because if we're stuck in this habit of self-punishment, we still have a choice. And even if it feels unfamiliar, with me, it still feels unfamiliar to be like, kind and nice to myself, but I still do it anyway. It's like walking on the treadmill, and you want to get your steps in. I'm like, okay, maybe I don't feel it right now, but I know this is good for me. I know this is very good for me. I'm going to do it. Have grace. That doesn't mean, and this is the thing I think a lot of people on the healing journey do, is like, oh, I didn't do the thing I know I should be doing, and and making yourself feel bad for doing that. And obviously, that's not the healthiest way to look at yourself. Oh, just like learning my heritage language of Polish required me to stop calling myself lazy and start rewarding my own self agency, you have to actively choose to see yourself as a champion. Oh, okay. I say champion because that's my favorite class in Pathfinder 2e, just like the Paladin in Dungeons and Dragons, if you know. Because I had, I said that, going back to like the premise of the video, sin versus error. If when I looked at myself, if you guys know that I'm Polish American, my parents are Polish, but I didn't learn my heritage language until, well, I was an adult. And my mom basically blamed us, my brother and I, that we were too lazy, or we weren't paying attention when she screamed at us in Polish. So and then of course when I moved here, people said to my face like, "Oh, if only you were a good kid and you paid attention to your mom, you'd be speaking Polish perfectly by now." I was like, "Oh, thank you. I didn't know. Do you have a time machine I could go back to?" Like, come on. Um, but I made myself feel really, really guilty about knowing Polish, and it's like, bro, I was a kid. I didn't choose like my mom to be like, "Kurwa, skupień." It's like, focus. Like, I didn't make it, really, not like a not pleasant experience. It wasn't my fault. Also, like Polish school, I went to Polish school every Saturday, bro. Awful, awful experience. Completely awful. Maybe I'll make a separate video about it. um, but I was making myself feel guilty. And I can't tell you guys the feeling. It's just so weird, to feel like this guilt. Like, oh man, like I can't connect to people because, and I was being a victim. Like, oh my, it's my fault. My parents didn't teach me Polish. I'm letting them down. Every time I make a mistake, like, oh my God, I'm letting my parents down, bro. Instead of now, I look at it like I was a kid that, you know I had every opportunity to just give up, never learn Polish ever. There's a lot of Polish Americans like me that just they don't know Polish, and that they're the same. That mom, dad, extended family. Like when I mean like Polish American, I mean all of my family, like all 100%. I was the first generation of my family to be born and raised in the States. So that's a huge disconnect, I think, from the rest of population, most of the population. Um, and, but I decided, I'm a brother, of course, to move to Poland when we were 19, take an intensive language course, and I have I I have lessons twice a week because I always wanted to improve it, feel better. I did that. I put my time, my energy, my money, right? But I could, and it took me a while to be like, all right, this is, I did that. I did that. It was my self agency, right? And that to me is the right perception. What the course teaches, right? It's in alignment with love. It's a loving way to look at myself instead of this horrid like, oh, if only you were a better kid, your Polish should be better. So that's why I encourage whatever you're beating yourself up on, whatever it may be. I don't know what it is. Everyone has their own individual challenges, but to encourage you guys to stop beating yourself up, to stop looking at it as like a sin to punish yourselves, but to look at it as I need to correct the way I look at it. Instead of punishing outcomes, we need to reward our efforts, like buying a Steam card for trying. I've mentioned that. Um, I think that's something that has really helped me is I gamify my life. So, for example, if I do like an easy task, I give myself 1 point. Medium task, 2 points. 3 point, and 3 points is hard points. For example, like making a video is 2 points because it's not exactly super hard, but it's not easy. And every point is 1 zloty, and then afterwards I collect it, and then I buy something worth those points. That's my permission slip, right? But it's nice because I see myself, oh, I'm rewarding my effort, which that works for me. Okay, I'd encourage you guys to and like reward yourself just for showing up. Like just showing up is half the battle, man. I give myself points for having healthy game because I'm choosing to invest my time, my money in my mental health. I encourage you guys as well to do that. The ultimate test for the divided mind is the healthy gamer check. If you wouldn't hurl this insane abuse at your best friend, it's time to stop weaponizing it against yourself. Yes. All right. You could say it's common sense, but do we do it? I, I use So there's this one other guy in Healthy Gamer that he was longer in the group than I was, but he's been through almost every session, and we've had the and we have very similar issues, like our challenges. And I keep thinking, would I say this to him? Right? Would I say would I say this to him that, oh, like, oh, you didn't ask for a girl, or oh, you fucking pussy beta, or oh, no, you're trying to learn a language and you're not perfect yet, man. You should have learned it when you were a kid. It's just insane. Um, we because it's easier. It's easier to be nicer to other people because we don't see all that baggage, right? But we're in our heads, right? We're with ourselves the whole time, and we have this laundry list of bullshit we can use against ourselves. But go back to, like, would you say this to your best friend? Would you would you tolerate, this abuse if so, or like if someone was saying that shit to your best friend, right? Would you be like, oh yeah, that's okay, like you can call me a bitch baby or whatever? No way. You wouldn't tolerate that. So if you wouldn't say that to your best friend, why would you say it to yourself? It's destructive. It really is destructive. So the way to cure it is to stop looking at it as something like I need to constantly punish myself. I need to look at this differently. I need to choose again. All right. That's all the talking points I had for today. Let me know what you guys thought of this new type of video. Also, first subscribe for more healing content like this. Right? May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. Take care.